What's up, Cooksy Mob? Hey, how we doing? Hey, we are in the stretch run of Supercross. It's been a long season, but there's 3 rounds left, and I'm going to break down a little bit about why, what matters, and what's going through Eli's head, Chase's head, Cooper's head, and just let you know what they're thinking, what they need to do, and then also, same with the Lawrence brothers in the 250 class, what to expect of these final 3 rounds. But before we get into it, thank my friends over at EBC Brakes. Brake rotors, clutches, rotors, you name it, they got it. They're kick-ass. James, Steve, everybody over there is awesome. So support them if you can. And then Complete Racing Solutions, Coach Rob Beams, he'll do your blood work, a blood panel. He uses a scientific method to get you feeling and competing at your optimum level. So anyway, guys, check out Complete Racing Solutions. Coach has programs that start at $22 and go up from there. And all right, guys, let's get into this.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Wow, what we saw in New Jersey was absolutely crazy. First off, I've never seen a lightning delay in Supercross of all things. I love that they went ahead, brought him out, and just ran him through the mud like nobody's business. It turned out pretty damn cool. But let's look at Tomac. Tomac had a wild day. First off, that crash was so weird. It was like on the first lap, and I almost feel like it's because his suspension is so stiff that he hits that G out, and he's kind of relaxed on the first lap. And had he been charging, I think his suspension wouldn't have kicked back as hard. That's my theory. I don't know. But it blasted his hand off, and that was a nasty little crash. I mean, he hit right on his head, his shoulder, his leg, and he's on the wrong side of 30, guys. Like and I talk about athletic maturity and how that actually works towards a lot of guys. When you hit the ground, it works against you. That's where being Sexton's age, being on the early side of 20 or 17, like young Hayden Deegan, when you're flexible, you lose that as you get older when you get that strength, that man strength, but you also get a little bit more rigid at that point, and you just don't hit the ground as well. It's just a fact. But Eli was able to hobble off, probably gave everybody in Yamaha and everyone a heart attack. And it turns out, not only did he salvage the night, he made points on his closest rivals. He's got 11 points ahead of these guys. Don't be shocked if he clinches this thing in Colorado. They go to Nashville. If it is truly just a Charlie horse, like they said, which I believe it probably was, in the way he rode, like, I don't know how you wouldn't say it is. And then, the way he got off the bike and kind of loosened it up, that, it all looked like they're telling the truth. So if that's the case, if he makes 3 to 6 points on Webb in the next 2 or 3 rounds, if he makes 6 points in Nashville, then he's just got to make 7 or 8, and it's over. And with the guys like Roxon, Barsha, Anderson, these guys that are really riding good, that can absolutely get in between them, we could see this clinched around early, which I don't think anyone wants that. We always like it to be exciting, but I honestly could see that happening. But on the other hand, like, Tomac's dealing with a lot of stress right now. When you're 11 points up, it's your championship to lose. So the pressure's all on him. It's not, he's got to go in there and race. Does he race to win? Does he race conservative? There's a lot of things he has to decide. And, having a close call last weekend, probably, I don't know if it helps or hurts that. We shall see when he gets to Nashville. But I don't know. Webb needs wins. That's all there is to it. The problem is I don't think he has the speed right now. He's just not fast enough. I mean, 4th place is not going to get it done. When you got Roxon, Barsha, and Anderson, and he can't even, I say you can't even beat those guys. No, those guys are awesome, and if they had ridden like this all year, we'd have ourselves a massive title fight. Unfortunately, they've had their ups and downs and kind of taken themselves a little out of it in points. But yeah, Webb, he doesn't have the speed. He's going to have to get lucky. I don't know what else to say except for he's going to have to get a little bit lucky to win this thing. If it was just him and Tomac going 1-2, 2-1, 1-2, and they were the top 2 guys, his head game's actually would work a little bit better, but it's pretty hard to intimidate a guy in 4th and 5th. Like it doesn't have the same emphasis it would if he was up there putting the pressure, winning races. It just doesn't add the kind of pressure that you need to win this title, in my opinion. Sexton, oh, he was so close. He was so close to being right back in this. So if he gets away from him after that hole shot in New Jersey, wins that round, closes the gap up even more, and he's on a roll with 3 to go, he's right in this thing. Instead, Barcia comes in and makes what I'm sure Chase is pissed about that move. It's not a bad move. Chase went in there, and Barcia come in and slid and just tapped him. But at the same time, if I'm Sexton, I'm going, dude, you did that to me in San Diego. You did it to me there. Like, how many times are you going to get hit before you just freak out and just go mutual assured destruction on him and just cream both of you? I think he's pretty close to right there. That could have been a championship move. But at the same time, if I'm in Barcia's camp, I go, well, dude, he was going for the win. He was the fastest guy that night. He wanted to get out front. And it's not like he just did it to mess with Chase. He did it to go forward. And there is like an unwritten rule. Okay, so if you're blocking a guy and you're not going to beat him, or you do that and you really had no chance of beating him, it's kind of a crap move. But situationally, that worked out for Barcia. And the fact that he closed it out and won the race assures that he wasn't just screwing around. Like, he was just going to the front. So it kind of takes it off of him. But if I'm Sexton, I'm still pissed. But if I'm Barcia, I'm like, that was fine. And if I'm in Barcia's camp, I go, yeah, it was fine. If I'm in Sexton's camp, I go, might have been fine, but how many times are you going to do it? So it's tricky. And then we'll talk about the Lawrence brothers in the 250 class. But first, check out Epic Garage Designs. Go to epicgaragedesigns.com. We can get you flooring, racks, cabinets, you name it. If you need a garage storage solution, check out Epic Garage. Epic Garage will totally get you done. And if you're buying a house, renting a house, or selling a house in the Las Vegas or Henderson areas, contact my friend Leanne Nestor. She's a local real estate agent and a good person, so reach out to her. She'll get you either rented, sold, or bought, either whatever you need. So Jet has we'll start with Hunter since they're going to Nashville next. Hunter has a 49-point lead over the field. It's his. If he chooses to sit out the next 2 rounds, I believe Hayden Deegan and Max Anstey, one of them would have to win both this weekend and the shootout. Can 2 guys, one that just won his first race and one that's never won a race, win 2 in a row? I mean, it's possible, but in reality, this thing's over. He gets to have the ceremony in Nashville, because unless he DNFs and somebody wins, this will be over in Nashville. There's not a lot to think about. I mean, really, I don't see any way he loses this thing. I think you get 1 point for qualifying for the main. That takes it to a 50-point. So, I mean, if he makes both main events, he's in. Yeah, so that one's easy. Jet, on the other hand, kind of the same thing. 39-point lead. And I just don't see, after Colorado, I mean, if he sits out, I mean, somebody could get enough points to pass him on both rounds, but that's literally what's going to take is either of these brothers is going to have to sit out. Hunter, even if he sits out, I don't think he's going to lose. Jet, if he sits out, might lose. So both those guys are pretty much the champs. I'm excited to see where they go, and I know Jet's already testing on the 450 outdoors, and I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. I think Jet is going to be a title contender in the 450 outdoor championship this season. And then next year, I think he's going to be a title contender in the 450 class in Supercross. That's why this one for Sexton hurts so bad. Sexton, if he's going to look back and hate himself for this season. How many times he's thrown it away? How many dumb things have happened? The 2 Barcia incidents and all the stuff that's cost him points that he could have been the runaway winner. And you say, okay, well, he's really good. He's going to have a lot of chances to win this title, right? No, not so much. Like, Chase Sexton is a guy. You ask Damon Bradshaw how that worked out. After, in 92, when he got caught and passed, you assume that he's going to go ahead and get one in the next couple of years because he's just that good. He's the guy. He won that many races. He won 10 races in a season. But it never comes to fruition because Jeremy McGrath stepped up. Is Jet Lawrence the next Jeremy McGrath? Is he going to shut down Sexton? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think we're in that kind of an era anymore where a guy just dominates. I think you're going to have to race closely to win these races. And it's almost like we've gotten to a NASCAR competitive level where the top is not separated by a whole lot. So I don't think we're going to have runaway winners anymore. We're not going to have the Reed, Stewart, Carmichael gap between the field. I just don't think that we're there anymore. I think with technology and skill and practice tracks, I think we've got about 10 or 15 guys that have closed that gap to where on any given night, a different guy could win. Barsha, I mean, look at how many different winners we had this year and how many guys could have won. AP, guy gets 6th to 10th, comes out one night, almost wins. That's where we're at these days. It's just a different era. So anyway, guys, remember, subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.